what are some of the things we need to unlearn?
I think that we need to unlearn, and it's going to be, this is subjective, because I grew up with a grandfather who taught me faith and taught me about heaven, but never taught me about earth. And they almost made it seem like, God bless their soul, they almost made it seem like anyone thinking about their own legacy was almost kind of negative. The idea that you should be concerned about legacy was almost a bit of pride, almost arrogant. Don't worry about your legacy. Or
jinxing yourself.
Yeah. And I think that you need to unlearn that. No, you need to think about your legacy. There are some people here who this is the most time they've spent talking about legacy, or even hearing a conversation about it, because people don't necessarily talk about it. And you got to unlearn that. You got to get to a place where you recognize, if I don't start building my own legacy, I will spend the rest of my life only building someone else's. And I don't want you living a life where you're building everyone else's legacy and ignoring your own. And we've gotten to a place, man, where we're helping everybody make their name great, and we're making our name mean absolutely nothing and taking pride in it. And
Brian,
I think
you're gonna get hit. I'm gonna slap you with a shoe. Keep going.
We've got to recognize that my name matters. My last name matters. My who I am matters. And I may not have the money you have. I may not have the status you have. I may not have grown up in the neighborhood you grew up in, but it doesn't matter. The fact that I'm on the earth, it means that my life matters, and I'm going to make a difference. And we have to unlearn. God bless all of those who told us just to be humble, be quiet, and live quietly, die and go to heaven, and then you'll get your reward. I'm saying, no, while I'm on the earth, I'm going to make a little bit of noise, and people will know that Brian Bullock was here.
I know that's right. Hold on, let me clap for that. I'm gonna clap for you, my damn self. You know, Brian is saved, and I think Larese is going to heaven. I will, yeah. So I'm just saying. So you know what's amazing about that, Brian, is at the studio one day, someone asked me, because people know I'm a philosopher, so they asked me, Dr. Sean, who's your favorite philosopher? And I was like, me. Like, what? You know, they thought it was, it's arrogant and but no, I didn't read all this book and work this hard to be an expert in Kant or Socrates or Aristotle. I worked hard to be an expert in me. Anyway, Larese, let me get to you before I go down that rabbit hole and be an hour later. I'm gonna ask you the same question though. As it relates to money and wealth, what are some of the things we need to unlearn?
Kind of to piggyback on what Brian had to say with that, I think that's a great question, and people need to hear that. And the answer to it is, I truly feel that, in our community, the saying goes, and Dr. Vernon would say it as well, is ain't nobody got no money. And that's what you hear your family it's been resignated. It's almost like telling people, when you grow up, you heard, family say you're not smart, you're not going to be anything. And that's been embedded in our families' heads, that nobody will have no money. So like Brian said, people, when you get something, it's automatic without you saying it is, oh, he's arrogant, or she thinks she's better than us.
Right,
so we have to we have to change that mindset and say, no, you ain't got no money, because I'm building something, and then be proud of that, and then want to pull people up with you as you're building. The other thing I say,
wait. We can't rush past that part. He said, the brother said, no, you ain't got no money. I felt that down in my shondo.
You felt it down in your shondo.
Hashtag, you ain't got no money. Keep going, Larese.
Look, and the other thing is, I did a video, Dr. Sean, on Instagram about a week ago, and I stood in front of Saks, and I called it Saks versus Stocks. We have to become owners in our community and not consumers. $1.2 trillion that we consume and spend, in this world, which makes us the 16th largest GDP in the world. So with that being said, I showed an example, you know, instead of buying a Louis Vuitton for $1,600, you can buy 17 shares and be an owner in Louis Vuitton. Instead of pulling up in a Range Rover and renting, or a Land Rover and get a landlord, why is your house more expensive than where you live? So really in this community, you know, pushing people to be owners and not be consumers and renters. So I think we have to change that.
But Larese, you cut me with the Range Rover though. You cut me because that's my favorite car, and I believe in God for a big black one. So I bind everything. I receive everything, but I bind that Range Rover. That's the devil, because
wow,
it's coming to me. Oh,